20-year-old said this about his new photographic mindset and about the way he looks at the world now. I have never done photography in my life until Instagram, to be honest. To add to that, I never thought of stuff like this. I didn't really care. I was that guy who just took photos of myself at my friends, you know? But then Instagram opened up like a new world for me. It made me like, no, I'm not going to go out there and buy like an expensive camera. That's not really me. But I do go out now and say, hey, maybe let me take a picture of this. Oh, this is cool. I never thought of it. It just opened up a new perspective for me. So, you know, what did Google kind of do with this? And if you look to your right, what they did is they kind of scoured the digital advertising space to try to come up with advertising campaigns that seem to be leveraging this idea of fascination with the familiar. One is the vitamin water campaign, Make Boring Brilliant. Another is Mont Blanc World Second, where Mont Blanc wondered whether they could freeze the whole world for a second and experience what people around the globe were doing at one very common moment. And they created a mobile photo app that enables participants around the world to shoot a photo at exactly the same instant. The results, participation from 80 countries, 66% increase in social media followers. The brand's thought starter was kind of major Uber idea that Google takes to their client is called help us discover the beauty of a forgotten familiar, find something familiar in your product, brand, or in people's lives and help them see it in a fascinating new way. The second kind of insight was called synaptic play, or the play of the bricoleur, mythic thought, the child mind. Bricoleur has no precise equivalent in English. The French term originally referenced the creation of pots out of pot shards, or whatever bits of material lay at hand. Ultimately, a bricoleur is someone who fiddles and tinkers with the material at hand and makes creative and resourceful use of whatever materials are at hand, regardless of their original purpose. In creating contemporary visual culture in the digital space, people act as bricoleurs, searching various visual sites and borrowing imagery in order to convey and express meaning. Bricoleur references craft and contemporary visual storytelling is definitely a craft project for many, where the mixing and matching of imagery, text, and music is often a creative endeavor, producing new perceptions of the world and ourselves, communicating messages about who we are and what we value. So I was thinking about this idea of the bricoleur when I looked at imagery on the contemporary digital space. But I was also thinking about my background in the anthropology of religion. And this idea, it's called mythic thinking, primary thinking. Images of religious myth, of dreams, are vivid, often acoustic and tactile. They take bits and pieces of reality that come to hand from nature, from one's own experience, and use them selectively as sources of imagery. These all have a similar structure or form of expression. The form of bricolage, or mythic thinking is simultaneous rather than linear. That is, mythic thinking, dream thinking, present a series of images with minimal connecting tissue, blurring one onto the other, juxtaposed one by the other. This is a form of play thinking, wherein reality is played with, recast, like breaking up a puzzle and throwing the pieces in the air. Pieces land out of order, but in a certain sense break an old mold to create something new, a collage of sorts of juxtaposed shapes and images. Children love to do collages, partly because it resonates with, is an expression of the way their minds are working. So, what did Google, do with this? One of the things they did was, in trawling through, scouring the digital advertising space, is find a couple of examples which seem to leverage this idea of what they call synaptic play, or mythical thinking, or the bricoleur mindset. One is Tipex, the European leader in correction products. They worked with Buzzman to launch an interactive campaign on YouTube. They wanted to give a complete sensation of freedom with more than 45 scenes that could be unlocked by rewriting the title of the video. They made it possible for the user to interact not only with the video, but also with the entire YouTube page. And the results, more than 250,000 shares on Facebook, and up to 1 tweet per second on the campaign during the first 24 hours. So the kind of strategic insight that they bring to their clients, kind of various, whatever brands they're dealing with, is this idea of trying to spark synaptic play and participation. You see the brands started here. The last insight that Google took from the study that they could kind of boil down and use strategically. Also, I know a bunch of you are involved with startups and are on the user experience side. They're also doing design innovation, but I'm not really privy. I can't really talk about stuff like that right now. But this kind of very humanistic stuff, I'm free to talk about. Okay. The energy exchange. The spirit of the gift, sharing visual imagery, or the energy exchange. When we spoke about why people share certain imagery, some said that they did so in order to convince themselves that they were capable of happiness and fun. In visual social media, people did this by sharing images of happiness in the various guises it takes with others. And I don't know if I should go trolling through this, but I was going to show you images of, I can't find it right now, but there's this whole thing on YouTube. It's quite old now. Like, it's called Where the Hell is Matt? Where he's doing his little dance all over the world. And it's just a pure expression of his kind of joy at meeting other people, and just his spirit seems uplifted, and he's jumping in the air. Anyway, I think what's happening is in visual social media, people like to share this sort of imagery because they're seeking to affirm the aliveness of their interior selves and of the inner lives of others through the sharing and storytelling. And one woman said this to me, which I like very much. She said to me, it's kind of a life lesson. I think that when we all put up pictures like this, it's like we're still showing that we still have it in us. It's like you lose something of that fun-seeking stuff when you're getting older. And I think I'm seeing that transition right now as my son is entering high school. I did not know that's when it happens, but it does. Then all of a sudden, it's real. Life is real. From now on, everything. Grades count, every sports thing, cutthroat. They're really cutthroat now in sports. And your fun factor has changed forever at this point. I think as adults, whenever we can have fun and show that we're having fun, it's like we're still alive here. When I think about it, when I send pictures out, I'm kind of portraying that sense of there's still this element in me, and I'm still alive. What we are saying, or what this woman was saying, what my other respondents were saying, is that I'm enriched and enlivened by imagery such as this. It brings a benefit to me. I wish for you to be enriched by it as well, so I will share it with you so you can experience my pleasure. This sharing is also an invitation on a number of levels. It is an invitation to initiate an exchange, or gift giving. It encouraged the recipient to repay the gift with a picture of his or her own. And so the exchange of pictures and information on the digital space has the to and fro quality of a game, like a tennis match going back and forth. It is an invitation to enter into a shared world of fellow feeling, commonality, and solidarity to form a digital community, and sometimes a real community. It is an invitation to happiness. This sense of aliveness, when gifted or sent to others, can also be thought of as an energy exchange. In the language of the visual web, when we share a video or an image, it means we're not just sharing the object, we're sharing in the emotional response it creates. And that makes us that much happier, partly because it reinforces our social bonds. People also often seek to share the excitement and pleasure of discovery by exchanging pictures and videos. They seek to enliven others, to lift their mood by opening up a new aspect of the world to them. People also wish to give the gift of memory to others. Memory of an experience, memory of an event, memory of the way once looked and felt, memories of the events and pleasures of a child's life. The gift of memory is a reminder to others and to ourselves of the fullness, the plenitude of a person's life. People are often in digital social imagery, people are often reminding each other of and bringing each other back to their shared humanity when they exchange or share arresting visual imagery. So how did Google start to use this in the advertising space? Here's a couple of examples of advertising campaigns that they saw as tapping into the energy exchange. One is the Pepsi Max test drive. That's been up for a while. Pepsi kind of read that. Another is Perrier Leclerc. Each visit to Perrier's YouTube channel made the view counter rise. As this temperature rose, the video got hotter. The brand created a video that actually encouraged repeat viewing because the content was not static. There was a reason to keep coming back and sharing the video because the experience got progressively more intense. The result, over 11 million views on YouTube in 1 month. So the brand thought starter here is to gift happiness we can share in. Ditch the pitch, instead start an energy exchange. Create content that reminds us of our own capacity for excitement, happiness, and vivacity. So we want to share in it, with it, and with others. So all that kind of boiled down to these 3 talking points. Final thing I wanted to say is that there's kind of a use for academic anthropology or traditional anthropological ideas, even in the digital technical space, and that a lot of these ideas are kind of really old hat in traditional anthropology or academic anthropology, but for a lot of my clients, they're still quite new, quite fresh, and so what I do is try to think like a Google and try to make these connections between what I was trained in and kind of transpose these ideas to a new kind of space. And one of the spaces that I'm trying to transfer it to is the space of